Hey everybody, it is Yishan here. Today I am coming at you with a Gren Maju-less Gren Maju deck profile, also known as Luna, Kaiju, Alpha, 8-axis, Bounce House, Crazy Deck, OTK, whatever. But I wanted to address a topic that's been on my mind recently with this deck profile. So, as you can see here, I have the 250th YCS mat here, and for the 250th YCS, I took Gren Maju, and I didn't do well at all, to be honest. I think I went X3, not even making day 2, and ended up dropping it like the second to last round. So, on accident, but I was already X3 before then. Like, I accidentally marks dropped. People weren't even showing up to the duels at that point. So, and we're at an interesting crossroads because I saw someone by the name of Chris One, I hope I'm saying that right, get top 64 with a Luna Kaiju, 8-axis Gizmek, whatever, you get the idea, deck. And it was basically, it had no Gren Maju in it, which is understandable. That makes a lot of sense. But I get asked a question a lot: is this version better than Gren Maju? Like, is Gren Maju just kind of like a for fun card, and like it has cool DKs but not that good and competitive? And unfortunately, I think the answer is kind of yes. Right now, at least, I think probably the best shell for Gren Maju is Stun, and it's been like that for probably a little bit. Of course, there was a while where the Deep Sea Diva was catching people off guard, and I love Gren Maju still. I'll play it, but it's like harder because they haven't printed good support, but they keep printing good cards. Like, I guess the meta keeps favoring like level 8s and not as much Gren Maju. And also Gren Maju is just, it OTKs people, but so does like every single deck in the format right now, right? Yeah, I think it all started with like sort of like Boral Sword, and then really Axis Code had changed the game forever, where basically you can OTK with anything. So now we're kind of at this crossroads, and I saw Chris's deck and I wanted to play it because I think it stays true to a lot of things I enjoy about the Gren Maju deck. And it's also really fun, and it just plays a lot more cards that are very, very good. I would say like 80% of the time are better than Gren. And so you end up winning more games. And I actually got first place with this deck. I was, it wasn't a copy for Chris's deck, probably because I just didn't have all the cards, I'll be honest with you. So I just want to share it with you guys because I think the deck's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It has some bad matchups, like Runic, and I would say even Branded to some extent. What kind of rogue deck doesn't have bad? If it had good matchups, it wouldn't be rogue, right? So, without further ado, let's get into this Luna Kaiju 8-axis whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video. Grenless Gren deck. I got first place. I played against a Cash, Branded twice, Dragon Link, and one Naturia Runic. Let's get on to the deck profile, shall we? So we have 3 Fairy Tail Luna. This is really the best normal summon of the deck. I think Deep Sea Diva is also really, really good, but I think Luna is really strong right now. I think if you want to play another normal summon in a different format, Deep Sea Diva is good, but the Luna it's so good because it keeps your hand count high, which allows you to play the dangers. I think the dangers are really good if you can keep your hand count high, because that's just like being able to like cycle a card in your hand for a danger for a big body, and also trade-in combos are really, really good. Of course, it also bounces Kaijus. It acts as an interruption on your turn or your opponent's turn. It just really helps break boards in this deck, and it just feels so good to normal summon. So you always want to draw it. I played 3 Fairy Tail Luna. It's like, I wish you could play like 4 or something. But yeah, 3 is good. 3 is good. It searches itself. Quick effect bounce. The other bouncer is Alpha. It's a lot easier to bounce with Luna because you just need to normal summon it. Alpha is just better because it's a level 8. Obviously its effect is not a quick effect, but still pretty useful. And you know, level 8 that special summon itself with upside is really, really good. You have to be pretty good about managing the attack points on your opponent's field, but that's usually not too hard with a little bit of practice and a little bit of foresight for your turn. So I've got 3 alpha, of course, in the list. And then we play Kaijus. We're maxing out on Gameciel and Godarla, and then 1 Doggeron. This is, I think, pretty common. At least playing the Doggeron in your deck is pretty common. I did like a video a while back about Kaiju Slumber math, and it's pretty clear that playing the 1 extra Doggeron is just worth it for Kaiju Slumber purposes, as well as just having the utility to be able to pick which ones you want. And it's just all good in that front. So I've always been happy with this Doggeron, and I like the big Kaiju lineup in this format. And yeah, so I'm playing 42 cards, and I can try to get into that in a little bit. I'll talk about maybe why playing 40 isn't that necessary, and why you can usually go a little bit over. Okay, so you have 3 Bigfoot, 3 Thunderbird. This I could see playing 2 Thunderbird. It's not the best right now, but at a local event, I think, where people are just setting random back row all the time, I really like Thunderbird. I think it's just the combo with trade in and the power is there. So yeah, play this is like dangers are kind of one reason to play a little bit more than 40, because I guess it's sort of, it doesn't really change you drawing 2 of them, but that's not really the main reason to go over 40. But it's like not bad, right? It can help a little bit in that regard, where it's like, okay, you're maybe drawing 2 of them a little bit less. So there's a slight thing there. 3 Gizmek. This is actually one of the biggest reasons to go over 40. I think actually this deck can go somewhere between 40 and 45. This sort of rank 8 axis thing where you're not cutting your chances of getting Gizmek and your other like Kaiju Slumber and your other Powerhouse and Luna that much. You're slightly reducing the amount of times you draw double of a 3 of, and then also the big thing is sometimes you get like a 1 extra Gizmek activation per duel, and that can really come up. So the percentages for going between 40 and 42 are on the negligible side, especially for your main deck cards. Actually, where going over 40 really matters is the side deck, because you really want to draw those floodgates, and it's super important. That's where you might lose a couple percentage, like very, very minor, depending on if you're going like 42 to 45. But the extra Gizmek advantage comes up so much. I swear, I don't know what it is, but the amount of times having 3 or 2 extra cards in your deck gives you 1 more Gizmek is not like, it's not nothing. And that comes up a lot. So definitely, I think it's actually, there's some theory there, and it's really hard to like do the math because it's like so dependent on the game state, but it's not bad to go somewhere between the realm of 40 and 45, I think, with this deck. 2 Astral Kribo. This is one thing I even played on my YCS deck list, Gren Maju, and I was happy with it. And it makes sense here. I think Chris played too as well. It's like a level 8 body, and that just specials itself and has some extra value. And like if you're playing Luna, this card is better, like worth playing, because obviously Luna, Deep Sea Diva doesn't work with Astral Kribo, but Luna does. So like it's like fine still. So yeah, I like Astral Kribo. It's actually not bad. I didn't play, so that's it for the level 8s. I didn't play the Sog de Fleur like Chris did. I don't know if that card's good or bad. I actually just don't own it, and the locals was this weekend. I don't know. The thing about Sog de Fleur is it's basically it lets you pop a card, one of your monsters, and 1 card your opponent controls to special summon it. And so you can use it with Fairy Tail Luna, target your own Luna, target a card your opponent controls, and then bounce your own Luna, and then still get the pop. But I don't know. I played with a little bit online, and it seemed a little inconsistent. It was like an easy cut to fit more cards that I thought were just very, very strong. One strong card is Kashtira Fenrir. I think this card is really strong. It does conflict a little with Kaiju Slumber, but actually it's not that bad because your opponents are usually making somewhat steady boards that anyway, so you can like special Fenrir effect to search. If they like negate it or interrupt it, it's kind of done its job. It's a threat that keeps your hand count high for your dangers, which I really like, as well as like one thing that happened today is I had this, and then my opponent had a board, so I special Fenrir, effect search, and then I Kaiju Slumber, and like, okay, I can't let this Kaiju Slumber resolve, so I have to negate, and then Fenrir will trigger. So like this happens a lot. Or sometimes I like actually have like I make Dingirsu and then Kaiju Slumber, so I can protect my whole board. It's just good. It's just too good of a card. This is like one of the cards that cutting Gren Maju allows you to play, and it's just good. Like I don't know what to say. Like it's just so solid. And then you have Pankratops. I think this card, I didn't draw it, but I think it's solid for going second deck. And then spells, I think one of the best spells in the deck. Triple, I'm a fan of 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I just think this card is way too good not to play 3 of. The upside is just totally bonkers, like, and then it has like the thing where you can just add a kaiju, like that's just free basically. Like you don't even need that on card, but it's free. I think you've got to play through this. It's like it wipes your opponent's whole board and gives you a level 8. Like it's just broken, I think, in this deck. And the destruction's not that bad right now. It's pretty good. And then 3 trade-in. I think the thing with this deck is your hand count stays high. So I'm actually happy to play trade-in because like getting ashed hurts a lot less in this build because you have Lunas and Fenrirs and a lot of stuff to try to keep that hand count high to make your dangers successful. So yeah, I like trade-in. You play it with the Slumber and the Desires, and there's like, you're always gonna have a good spell, hopefully, for them to maybe ash or not ash, depending, So 2 Desires, I mean, just broken. Maybe you can banish your extra Luna or your extra Fenrir, but it doesn't really matter that much. Just free draw 2. 2 broken. And then 2 tactics. You can play 1 tactics, 1 thrust. I just didn't have a thrust. 2 tactics is fine, I think. Sometimes useful, sometimes not. I don't know. It's just good. Like, it's one of those cards that is pretty good. Like the format has shifted towards hand traps, and so I think it's totally fine to main deck this card. And then 1 Harpies. I never drew it, but it's Harpies. And then Mind Control, Change of Heart. The Zombie Vampire makes these 2 cards a lot better. The amount of times like Zombie Vampire is like, okay, that's like OTK. So I take their monster, make Zombie Vampire summon something that has 3,000 attack. That's 6k. Happens a lot. So yeah, I really like these because Zombie Vampire can use anything that has a level that's your opponent's, as well as Monster Reborn. Like, I think this card is worth playing still, even in a cash format. Usually you can get value out of it almost every time, and it's like a free level 8. It could also be like better than a level 8 depending if your opponent has something good in the graveyard, and even if they don't have a level 8 in the graveyard, you can make Zombie Unicorn. So 42 cards in the main deck. I was really satisfied. I think it's a very solid main deck. Like there's really nothing bad about it at all. I wouldn't change anything about it at all. I guess that's what happens when you get first. But yeah, that was nice. Let's go side deck. Definitely we differ here in the side deck between Chris's and I, Bill. So I think we differ in a lot of the cards. I played 3 Ash, 3 Shifter in the side. I mean, Shifter was just for anything, and Ash was for Branded. I have a hard time against Branded. I don't know, like, I talked a little bit with Chris and asked him what the point of Blizzard was, and Blizzard helps in the, he side decked a card called Blizzard, which is like, negates a spell, and it's a quick spell, so you can use it going second, so it's good against like Branded and Red, it's good against like, the Runic cards and some other stuff as well. But honestly, Runic is a pretty bad matchup, and then Branded, I think I'd rather just have Ash for Branded Fusion, because I was just getting like Branded expulsioned a lot by Branded players, so I was happy with it. I played Branded twice, and Ash came up a couple times, so it helped there. And then Shifter is just for those, those decks that die to Shifter. Again, like, I don't mind playing Shifter because you have a lot of pluses in this deck, so you don't feel like you're like, sometimes I Shifter and then I feel like I just don't have anything. But with the Lunas and the Fenrirs and all the value in this deck, I'm actually happy with it. He also played Denko, Chris, and I think Denko's good. I just didn't have them. So I played Lightning Storm. He main deck Lightning Storm. I don't know. That one's a little risky, but I can see it. I was just, okay, you know what? Labyrinth's been on the decline. I just put them in the side. I think Denko's a really cool idea, though. And then for my Floodgates, we both played TC Boo, which feels so good to play this card. I don't know, it just comes up all the time. Like, people play decks that die to this card. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. They just do. And then I played 3 Summon Limit. He played 3 Skill Drain. I think Skill Drain's actually good. I was just too lazy to switch them sleeves. Summon Limit was fine. I could see both being good. It's probably just a meta call right now. I think Skill Drain is totally fine. He played Skill Drain. I wanted to play the Bestials in my side deck as well, like 3 Magna, 1 Druistorm. I think that could be really good, especially when the new set comes out. There's like this level 10 synchro that you can treat a light or a dark monster as a tuner, which is like totally broken. But like you can use Luna and a Bestial to make it. So that's going to be a really interesting build, I think, if that ever comes out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this deck. Well, that's just a side deck. We still have the extra deck. I'll go through it pretty quick. It's, somewhat standard. Of course, the Draglubian, which I used a couple times today, along with the OTK guides, and then you have the Zeus package with the Ding, the Pen Gainer, 7 Sins, and then Zeus. Chris played 2. I totally can understand playing 2. Again, I was too lazy to put this in my extra deck. But you could definitely play 2. Yeah, I think it could be worth it, you know. Everything else, I used this. Came up once today for Zeus, and it was a very interesting situation. I played one Zombie Vampire, which came up a couple times today. There was like a line where I had to go Zombie Vamp. I wanted to play around a hand trap, so I went Zombie Vampire, or I went the Photon Lord guy first, and then I went Zombie Vampire. And I needed like the Zombie Vampire to mill like something that had 3,000 attack or something like that. You know, 2,500 or more basically to OTK with those. Because I had to mind control my opponent's monster. So that came up a couple times, and this came up for Zeus once. And then yeah, I played like a Sandaflon instead of the second Zeus. Honestly, Chris's extra deck I don't disagree with at all. Like, this card doesn't come up that much. Sometimes it does though, and like this is like the only card that can help. So I'm like, oh, maybe, you know, it's locals. I'll put it in because who knows what people are playing at locals. And then the one Arise Heart, which I think makes a lot of sense. Just if not only like if your opponent looks at your extra deck, they see this, they're not going to activate Shangri Era, which just makes, if you don't have Slumber, that's one less thing to have to like get around. And like these duels sometimes come down to 1 or 2 interruptions. So I actually summoned this, but if you can convince your opponent not to summon, that's also totally worth the extra deck spot of the Arise Heart. And then the 2 Charmers. Honestly, I want to play the Light Charmer as well. There was a couple times where like, man, I kind of wish I had Lina in my deck for the Luna, because Luna's a lot of times gets linked off because it's a light, right? It's not level 8, so sometimes like, oh, I kind of want to link this off. So maybe it's worth, especially if there's ever more lights in the format. And then 1 Zeroboros. Never summoned it, but I could see why it was good. Chris played this as well. If I haven't said this already, I'll try to put a link to his deck in the description. But yeah, like, you know, sometimes you just like Luna plus like monster plus like, or mind control like a link 2 or something, or even like a link 3, you can just use that and something like, you know, it can just come up. So I think it's worth playing as the OTK link. It makes sense. I just never had the chance to do it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. That is the deck profile. You know, very solid. Like I never had the experience like, okay, I'm drawing this Gren, but it's like I can't get the OTK off, so I can't use it this turn. Like, you know, I never had like so many conflicting normal summons because I don't play 3 Luna, and Fenrir was just like, it's a good card, you know. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys like. Do you think Gren Maju is just like, will it ever be as good as this sort of 8-axis deck, or maybe they'll print some support for it? Wouldn't that be nice? I would really appreciate that, Konami. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the deck profile. I played this deck because I did a poll on my channel, and this was the most requested one, so I took it to locals, and hey, it did me pretty well, and it was a lot of fun to you know, play that good old Gren Maju again. So, well, Grenless Gren Maju. Just getting that, just OTKing people going second. You know how it is, right? So, all right, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this whole Gren Maju debate. And I'll see you all in the next one. All right, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I don't know, I'm getting to 10,000, so I'm kind of just rambling here, but you know, I would really appreciate your support. And yeah, see you in the next video.